Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the adventures of Masterwork. We play D&D, and sometimes we even don't die. It's quite impressive. We've been working at it a while, I'd have to say. Um, this is the Tales of Revedia, a homebrew campaign created by myself and played in by the wonderful people you see below. My hands are my hands aren't in frame. God damn it! These guys, they're fucking awesome. We are missing one of our players, sadly, but hopefully we'll be able to have him back soon because it hasn't been enough explosions lately, and it's kind of been disappointing me. Gotta be honest. Actually, not. Maybe it's just I'm used to not. I'm not used to there being no sense of primal fear. Maybe that's it. Um, Starting from. I don't. He's my left for y'all or for me. I don't know about y'all. We have our wonderful barbarian, Kalis of the Moving Wilds. Um, he carries around a big stick of his dead. Well, no, never mind. I'm not going to say his dead father's big stick. That sounds weird. Um, he carries around like a big stick, kind of like on some Teddy Roosevelt shit. Except instead of hunting animals, he's covered in them, and he's also a deer person. But that's a minor detail that people tend to not notice. Um, yeah. Below him, we have Zelthar, who also has antlers, but is not a deer person. His are fake. Is our wonderful ranger, who and the party has currently found themselves entrenched in his home turf as they're making their way northwards into the mountains of the Queen's Landing. Directly to his right, we have our lovable cleric Jungum. She heals people all the time. She uses all those spell slots for healing and keeping her teammates safe, and she doesn't do any weird stuff with bones or skeletons. None whatsoever. Because I don't want to get banned. Um, and above her, he is playing her. Above him is her. we have no, because the way I said above her, it makes it sound like I'm speaking above you, Atomic, but that doesn't work because there's no one above you because that's a blank space and he's below you. So his character is below you. I'm not fucking crazy, man. They're in the fucking trees. Um, um, but yes, we have our wonderful rolling rogue. Oh, I like that. I like that. Taryn. Known for having many knives, but never enough belts. Sadly, so we're getting her to a Square Enix character one day. I'm working on it. I just need more excuses. Um, and yeah, that's the party. Just to give a brief recap as to what they were up to, because man, it's a bit to process. The parties found themselves moving northwards through the mountains of the Queen's Landing to a dwarven city known as Gracklestad, which one of their sort of contacts hasn't heard word from in a significant amount of time. Upon making their way to the gates of the city, they saw this group of almost entranced dwarves making their way to the northern gates, no, the southern gates. And they were immediately struck down from behind or from atop the caverns. These creatures sort of swept down and over as these eyeballs with floating tentacles and these sort of like mangy, not mangy, but like, I don't know why that word came to my head, but this like sort of like obnoxiously like smiling mouths came and pretty much decimated the group of them, carrying off their supplies and retreating back into the tunnels up above, where the party decided to follow them, sneakily making their way through the territory of these creatures. Um, they, yeah, luckily fairly sneakily, with a few, minor exceptions, but, they're all good right now. Oh, wait. Um, the party has found themselves overhearing a conversation between what seemed to be a beholder, a magical, many-tentacled, one-eyed, anti-magic monster, who is not something you generally want to trifle with unless you're feeling like making a mistake. And that being the case, as the beholder and one of his lieutenants split off, They followed the lieutenant and ran into a group of Duragar, who were quite surprised to see other people in that cave who weren't Duragar, or Beholderkin. And upon some negotiation, as this sort of back and forth went on, this is a very surprised group of people. Excuse me. Found themselves being confused as to why you were here. It attracted the attention of one of the lieutenants, who came back down, and upon seeing you all, decided not to immediately fight you, but has been proposing the idea of maybe possibly using you to impress his boss and help them with their current task. And that's where we last left off, with Jungum being the only person currently capable of managing these negotiations. Oh yes, one of the lieutenants did. Yeah, one of the
Was it
lieutenants.
Zoldykolk?
Zoldykolk.
No.
Yes.
No. It was Gurukpach.
Oh yeah.
Yagurukpa got zapped, and Zoldykolk's the guy who zapped.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Kosh that
Voldemort.
we're talking to.
Yes, Lord Voldemort.
Okay. Well, after having this very long conversation, he's still confused, right? The beholder.
He seems like half confused, yeah, because like he sees you all, and the Duragar see you all, and he did. Strangely enough, the Duragar don't seem to particularly be afraid of this creature. They just seem to be more confused at this conversation, because, as I said, the language deep speech itself sounds like a mix between ska and gargling Listerine. So as Jung-Um and this creature are sort of going back and forth, there's not much hostility coming from the creature or the Duragar, but confusion is definitely one of the things on the list.
Are the Duragar being held prisoner? Does it look like?
They don't seem to be held in chains or anything like that, or ropes. In fact, when you guys had entered, they did like have available like the sort of makeshift weaponry.
Right. I was wondering if they were like here, like they're supposed to be, or if they looked like they had like tried to escape and had seized weapons and were like making their way out.
I mean, based on, I'd say you would need to make an insight check for this. Based on like their demeanor around the creature, like the goth, they don't seem to be afraid of it or nervous about it whatsoever.
So I'm gonna turn to my party and I'm gonna explain them everything, the whole conversation I had with them. Because I'm pretty sure, like you guys just look at me equally as weird. Like, what the hell is going on? Correct?
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just like, what's going on? Should I hit it? What is it saying?
Well, he's saying that he is okay with allowing us to help him solve his problems, which is destroying this. I forgot what the thing's called.
Skull Eater, or the
Skull Eater. The Illithid. He doesn't seem hostile to me. He seems very nice.
You see,
So he's worried about his
toothy grin, just sort
boss
of like.
dad. Oh, he understands common.
No, but he's just trying to read your body language and seem not threatening. Because there's a giant deer man with a stick who looks really paranoid. It's not helping, by the way. It's just. It's literally an eyeball and a mouth. An eyeball surrounded by it.
Am I still like super stealthed?
I believe you got like a fucking like 300 or some shit, so sure.
It was a 39 or a 37 or something.
Oh,
1 second, I never practiced my look of loathing. Yes, you're still
Okay.
By the way, I should have asked this earlier, but I know, like, do I feel necrotic energy throughout this cave as we were about traveling through it?
I would say give me like a sort of like I'd say either perception check or maybe like an, what would it be, like Arcana. I'd say either one of those, like depending on how you want to identify things.
Yeah, I'll do perception. I got 17.
17. Okay. So as you've been making your way through this case systems, you felt like a lot of weird shit. Um, the energy of beholders is not something that's or like they don't like have the sort of most natural life cycle, and that you can sort of see just by from what you've witnessed of them. But you don't get that sort of sense in your surroundings, like you're detecting any of that like necrotic energy that you're very familiar with. At least not in the cave section you've explored up to this point.
Okay. I'm gonna turn back to my party. I'm like, so how do you guys feel about helping them out with their illicit problem?
What is an illithid?
Yeah, how much would I know about an illithid?
Um, well, you would probably know them by the name Mind Flayers, not exactly an illithid. And Kalis, I'd say you could guys both give me either a history or an arcana check because it's a bit more obscure. I'd say
I have
atomic.
exactly one source of information in my life,
Yeah, atomic. I'd say you could make it.
and I'm holding it.
I'd say you could make it. I'd say you could make it with advantage just because your connections with the Watchers.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
16.
Nice.
16. So you would know about the illithids, being knowing what the Watchers do, keeping tabs on a myriad of magical creatures, monsters, and items throughout the realms. You would have heard of these creatures. You would not necessarily run into one yourself, but they are a creature that comes from a realm not quite known to like the common world. But they are
Did I
known
freeze?
for having
Is that me?
an.
That's
What's up?
definitely me.
Oh yeah, you did freeze.
Mm-hmm.
But they have an incredible taste for brains. In general, any creatures, preferably the smarter the creature, the fattier, like the wrinklier the better. And they're also known for like having these sort of psionic abilities, which they use to sort of dominate other creatures and enact whatever their wills are. And I would say, with that, with a 16, you would be aware of the fact that then they sometimes operate alone, but not always. They are known to form sort of groups and coalitions that answer to other like superior illithids, but that's most prefer to work on their own, unless in the goals of like a greater task where it's necessary. I need
Gonna.
these cameras.
I'm gonna, I guess, drop the stealth. I don't feel the need for it anymore because no one here is hostile. But it's like, well, at least the name Skull Eater makes more sense now.
No, it doesn't. I can't say it does for me.
What do you mean?
I still have no idea what you're talking about.
An illithid, as she said, is also known as a mind flayer. They eat brains. They also control them, which is probably not fun. Definitely not fun.
So I'm getting the impression bad.
It's a good impression to have of them. I think that.
Wait, but I thought they were bad.
Hmm?
Is it a good impression or is it a bad impression?
It's a bad impression is good to have. The figure for a second.
These are the Windows shutdown sound.
Atomic.exe has stopped working.
Oh, it's Kale. It's definitely.
In any case, I think that we should do what we can to get rid of it, even if it means teaming up with someone that we normally would not team up with. That's my stance.
rid of it, but we could be friends with both of them
Hmm.
and help them work out their issues.
Hmm.
Juggernaut, we've been going through this cave. Everything we see.
Right.
Staying on the killing K.
I didn't like. Kayla's didn't say it.
I know. They don't know that though.
Do you guys have any questions for my friend here? I like
Yeah,
look over and give him like a thumbs up.
many.
And sort of nods his head, like in place. It's also like floating in the air.
So it just bobs up and down.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's more like it's like what's the word? It like pitches like up and down a little bit, like in place.
Who are this group of creatures, and who do they? To what end do they work?
Do you want me to repeat what he says, or can I just translate verbatim?
Sure. Yeah, you. He sort of let's see. What group of creatures? What's that mean? Those things. You see, sort of like you see the tentacles point towards the Duragar, and when you see when it points towards them, they get like noticeably uncomfortable, like shift away from its direction.
So, what sort of banner do these floating eyeball tentacle creatures work under, and what are their aims?
Maybe don't translate that verbatim.
Sort of.
Uh,
Oh, go for it. What do you got?
So what are your aims with these creatures?
Oh. The boss says that we gotta clear the brain boys out the city. It's messing with business down below. He doesn't like it. You don't mess with boss's business. And it happens to be a mutual interest with these folk over here as he sort of points at him and which they all like move away from the gaze of like his tentacles. Being that these are very good customers of ours.
So what he says is these guys are their customers, and they're helping them out, or mutually helping each other out by killing the Illithid because they're messing with their business.
There's more than one Illithid?
I mean, you know, Illithids, they come and they go. They're all over the place, you know, sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not explaining this to your friends. They seem a little out of touch. This is sort of like we're trying to whisper towards you, Jungum, in front of everybody. But
Gargle softer.
just like it's like a sweet Chewbacca. It's like, we come from down below, underdark parts. You know, it's down under and it's dark. You know, there's a lot of them folks down there, and you know, sometimes you gotta clear them out, and sometimes they come up here, and now a few of them apparently have gotten up here in this city, and for whatever reason they wanted to come. I don't know. We've seen at least two.
At least two? Oh, wow.
Maybe more. The problem isn't them, though. It's all their little buddies. They got eyes all over the place. It's hard to get around. Boss says he has a plan, but I'm not the boss, so I don't know the plan.
They've got eyes all around. Do they have Beholderkin in with them? It seemed when we first came here, it looked like there were some that were probably now looking back on it under control of the Mind Flayer. So.
Oh yeah, I can show you if you want.
No, I think we're good.
No, we have one. I should ask Bosk about that first. Maybe that's not a good idea. I shouldn't have said that. Oh no. But yeah, it's brain eating stuff.
Brain eating stuff. Do you know if they're causing any necrotic energy in the forests outside of here?
Forest. I came from, and he sort of like points his eyes down.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't. I just. It's hard for him to shrug. He doesn't have shoulders.
Eyes just go like this.
I'm sorry.
His single eyebrow just like curves a little bit, and makes it like questioning from our face.
Uh,
Maybe, I don't know.
Like,
Do you know what-
imagine. Go ahead.
I say, does with the mind-controlled beholderkin that you have, has it revealed anything about what the Illithids want?
Nah, he's not talkative. They're like they're more like so they're more like pets at this point for him than anything else. They're not really the most when you get your brain eaten, it doesn't work too well anymore. Um, but
Very fair.
we have. I really shouldn't say too much more without the boss being here because I'm gonna get in trouble. Because I don't want to reveal something that you guys aren't supposed to know yet, and then he's gonna get mad at me. And I don't know if you saw the dust in the hallway, but I'm not trying to do an imitation of it.
Well,
That was my friend.
sure.
He's the dust now.
Hey, I'm your friend now. And you know what friends do? They share. If you tell us information, we will help you. Your boss will love you. Boss dad will love you.
Sort of, you see like his eyes like start to like kind of like all his eyes like look away a little bit. I mean, we I think I think that's a lot to tell you if you to make like a decision on. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I think you're okay, folk. But if you're gonna say no, I recommend you. I won't say anything, but you guys better get on and get moving real fast because if he catches you, you ain't running far.
I think it's in the best interest of everybody to get rid of the Illithids.
I'm curious to meet the leader of these creatures. Or learn more about him, I guess.
Well, do you want to go at the Illithid first, or do you meet the boss first?
Should probably meet the boss first so we can have as much information as we can going in.
Alright. Best friend. Can you meet your boss dad now?
Please don't call him boss. Don't say boss dad in front of him. Sure, I can take you to him, but just wait outside at first so he knows you're coming, because it's not good to surprise him. And he sort of like points towards like the hallway where you came from. Just follow me. And in like this like sort of like broken dwarvish, he's like he turns to like the Durgun and says something along the lines of like, y'all just stay settled, we're getting this figured out. In which they sort of like look at him. They're still very confused with this whole situation. They haven't had a chance to speak or understand much of anything. They heard the bits in common, but outside of that, they realize they're relatively powerless in the situation, and they're going to promptly fuck off.
Smart. The smartest group in the room.
At this
I'm
point,
imagining like a beholder tilting its head to the side questioningly, and it just goes like, but like floats and drifts.
It just sort of can't. Goes in a circle slowly.
so as he sort of makes his way and gesturing you all to follow him, you guys find yourselves going up towards the section of the caves where you heard the voice disappear. Um, it would be the leftmost like area of your map, in which you notice a sort of group of like semi-sprawling tunnels that make their way, what seems to be into the actual like a subsection of the dwarven city itself. And you see him turn around towards Jungum. Just one moment. And he sort of makes his way forward, and you hear this sort of like loud announcement. It's like, "I'm here, not surprising you. Please don't do anything and get surprised." And you hear an irritated voice reply, and after that point, it's pretty hard to make out much of what they're saying.
Wait, no,
Before he comes back, we should probably get in some sort of positions, not stand out here and open.
Yeah. Well, it's down kind of here-ish,
Yeah, it'd be
right?
this way. Oh, I mean, it'd be up
Why
this
is
tunnel right
my-
here.
Why is my circle so slow? So are we up in the tunnel, or are we like down here?
You guys would be like told to stay like at like the fork of this tunnel, like up here, not to go past the wall, basically.
Okay. Okay.
And as you guys are sort of readying yourself for whatever like is about to happen, and you hear this sort of these sort of like jumbled voices, eventually you hear, or what's it called? You don't hear, but sort of silence breaks over the caves, and you hear like an exasperated voice, "Just fine. Where are they?" He's like, right over here, this way. And you watch, but not hear, as sort of coming around the corner is this massive, maybe like, its eye alone is probably about the size of like a yoga ball. Implanted into its head is this huge circular creature having to sort of squeeze through the tunnels in some parts around this area, and you watch as like unknowingly he like just sort of chips away and lasers parts of it. As it comes upon and sees this group of people hanging around the corner, and you see Josh is like, "Hey, right over here," and immediately like goes to the side, getting out of the way. And you guys, you see the creature before you, and man, is it something! As this sort of large sort of eyes sort of watching all over the place, never really sitting still for just a moment, beholder is looking upon you all. And you can't help but get this almost feeling of nakedness as you sort of lose that sensation of like that sort of clerical energy like in you, as you can feel in your hand or feel in your body, Kalis, the wild magic that normally surges through you has been dampened, almost like if like a wet blanket thrown over it. And your dagger of warning seems to not be giving a shit. It seems to be on break. And as it looks upon you, from what's it called? Oh, I like that token. We're gonna go with that one because it looks a little. There we go. That's good enough for now. Are you the ones he's attempting to hire? He sort of
Yes.
looks over at you all.
Look,
And
is
he's
he
speaking in common now. He's speaking
Okay.
common.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I still say, yes, hello, I'm Jungam. This is my party.
And sort of so loud.
And I go ahead and start introducing everyone. This is Kalis. This is Taryn. This is Zelthar.
Pleasure to meet you. I guess. And he sort of looks at, what is the plan here? Why is it? Well, they say they can help with the illithid problem because, you know, it's a problem. And he's sort of like, that's strange. I don't remember asking for help. And you see, oh, I didn't mean, I wasn't assuming you wanted help. I didn't think you know, I think, is it almost time for lunch? You sort of see him just sort of nod away, and he's like, oh, yes, sir. And he sort of looks down, sort of backs away to the tunnel.
So when Zoldykolk's eye falls upon me, I presume this is Zoldykolk,
Yes, this
I'd
is-
like to use, which is like a magical, like innate ability. So I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'd like to use like magic awareness and like look around. It's like a detect magic kind of effect.
Oh, it just kaput.
So the spell doesn't even work. Or that's not a spell, but the feature doesn't even work.
Yeah, it is not just blocks spells; it blocks magical effects. It is an
Interesting.
anti-magic. It is an anti-magic cone, not just anti-spell.
Well, that's what I wanted to know, so thank you.
So, as he looks over at you, says, "So, what is the plan? Why are you here? And how did you submit an application?"
Well, we're here to help out. Well, we're here for a totally, believe, unrelated reason to help
She's
out my
probably
friend
related.
Zelthar.
Your
Yeah.
friend Zelthar, is that the other one with the antlers?
Yes, the other antlered gentleman. He's so cool.
You're still causing me quite a bit of confusion. You understand that? I was currently making battle plans, and I was informed by one of my men that there was a group of adventurers. As he referred them, great heroes of the realm. What does that mean? Coming to
Well-
assist us with the Skull Eater.
Yeah, well, have you heard of the Bronze Flame, sir? Of course you have. It's a huge organization for these parts. We are some of the
Cave
most...
monster. He's a cave monster.
Your face, careless.
And strangely enough, upon hearing that name, he sort of actually has, you see like a sort of look of recognition across his face. Says, yes, I've heard of them, but generally they tend to be more of a thorn in my side than a boon. Are you the same?
Well... No, not this time. We just came here to solve an issue. And you guys don't seem to be what's causing the issue. Wait, are you causing the issue?
What's the issue? Do I
You're
look
the
like...
negotiator in this group.
Oh.
The issue
Do I
with
look
the
like I eat
Duragar.
bangers?
Wait, is he speaking in common or?
Yes, he is speaking
Yes,
in common.
speaking
Yeah.
of common.
Oh, great.
Yes. Yeah. The issue with the Duragar city going quiet. That's the issue that we came to investigate here.
Oh, I see. More people. You just happen to come upon this by coincidence, and you say at this point, you hear, or no, you don't hear. You do hear. Fuck. Gruith kind of come behind you. That'd be me. Told him. There's a thing going on. Haven't heard from you. Oh, well, not you. I mean them. Well, not them. I mean their guy. You know, the head one. And at the point you just see him like sort of wave him off. Like he's just like, okay. Enough being said. And what do you expect to? And you see at this point, he has like this sort of look of like, it's like disdain mixed with confusion because he realizes you guys are useful, but at the same time, you're here, you're like these warm-blooded, like human creatures.
Non-cave monsters.
Non-cave monsters. And he sort of rolls his eye. And that really gets
He
you.
just starts like slowly tilting backwards. And
No,
does, like, a
it's
very
more like
slow
in place.
backflip.
The pupil just goes, just like in a little like.
That's even
He is an
even
eye.
better.
That's what he is. Oh my god.
If a beholder rolls his eye, do they all like roll, or does just the central one?
I think it's the central one.
Can you
Do they do the
imagine?
That's what I
wave,
would say.
maybe? Although,
Or just yeah, just all go like just ice socks. Oh, roll.
Oh my god. Okay.
Important questions.
It is a very important
Mhm.
question. But it sort of looks whatever. You're not the first humanoids to be we could use. Do any of you what do you do? Do anything useful? I assume I assume there's nothing too creative going on with him, gesturing towards Caitlus. Nor the one with the bow. You are dressed in armor. Are you some sort of paladin? I don't care. And follow me. I'll find something to do with you. I don't know what you're expecting out of this, though. I've not done this with the expectations of rewarding opportunistic adventurers. I'm not in that business. And you see him sort of begin to like float down the hallway, turning his back to you all, and then almost like getting like that sort of like breath of life, as like you can feel things like normal once again as he turns away, and makes his way further down into like the
Didn't
corridor.
even insult me.
I'll follow along behind him and say,
You couldn't see you.
He didn't insult me. I don't know. I didn't roll another stealth. I imagine he saw me.
He might
No,
like
he
you.
saw you. He just did insult you.
I don't know if that means I'm so far below his notice or if he thinks I might be a little bit more useful. I can't tell.
Give me a
I'll
second.
say,
Oh no, got it.
I was just gonna ask him, and do you know anything of the sickness that has crept over this area? The woods surrounding the mountain.
The woods surrounding the mountain. Don't know much about it. My business is under the mountain and under the mountain. Outside of
And
that,
this
whatever.
sickness, does it emanate from within?
It ain't coming from below. Or, it doesn't even sound like they're remotely the same person. But no, it's not coming from below. At least as far as I have seen, and I figure that I have pretty good eyesight.
Yeah.
Thank you for laughing.
Like it.
Just like straight faced.
Oh no.
Haha.
But whatever you're talking about isn't something that I've had to deal with. My business doesn't tend to go much further north than this. Usually, the tunnels go down southward throughout the rest of Revedia. And as he continues onwards, making his way to this sort of like not totally ruined area. It seems to be like this has been like a small part of the city that they have sort of fought back or like fought like these thralls back. And you notice that like there's sort of what seems to be fairly decayed corpses like far off in like this like sort of larger courtyard area. And it doesn't seem to be much of like a castle or a keep, but more of like a guard station or barracks that had that was in attendance at one point, but seems to have been long past its normal use as the spectators and goths, that's the word, have taken over this area. And sort of, you see him sort of make his way through what was a doorway, which you can see has sort of been like busted open to accommodate for his girth, because he's a hefty dude. Into this this tall ceiling room, in which you see this variety of different what's it called, maps and tables of the area, or not tables of the area, but maps on tables on maps. No, maps on maps of the area on tables. Oh shit, that was rough. I don't think we'd get through that.
You got it right like twice before you settled on it.
It sounded weird to me. I don't know why. It just sounded weird. And
Good job.
Mice on maple trees.
You said it too fast to confuse me. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear it because I don't understand what it was. But as you guys look into the room, you see all of this, other things to catch your eyes. You see this sort of small group of what seems to be cages uncovered, in which you see other. They all seem to be Durgar, except for one, which seems to be a Goth. However, its eye stalks have been removed, and it's sort of just like floating there backwards, like staring at the wall. And as you all come in, welcome to the war room, where I'm having to deal with all of this while having to deal with all of this, as he gestures towards the cages. Do you have any tactical prowess, any of you? Or you be useful? Is this the part where I just have to tell you where to go? Do you?
I'm experienced with war.
Interesting.
Tactical?
Take a look at it.
And okay. I can show the map, but it is very unfinished. Oh.
How long has this been going on in the city?
At this point, it's been, at least since we've arrived, it's been a few weeks in which we've been able to make a foothold in the city and begin to drive back these creatures. However, there seems to be quite a bit of them, and they don't seem to have any morals about, or any qualms about fighting to the death for each one. Given, well, they have no reason not to.
Where did they enter these caverns from?
That is yet to be known. So as he bump it up. Oh, okay. This is gonna be very hard to show. Actually, okay, I'm gonna do this the easy way.
This is the city of Cracklestone, you said?
Grapplestone. Yeah.
I thought the city was called Thimderhul.
Was it? Or was it? Or the intermediate city? Was that Gracklestone?
I have Thimderhul Durgar City written down in my notes.
That sounds actually more correct. I don't know where Gracklestone is from. Maybe I used it as a placeholder name at one point because I didn't make an actual name.
Because Blingenstone was the gnomish city.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for the sake of it, because one of them is Wizards of the Coast material, we're going to say this is what's it called? I'm sorry. Can you say the name again, Taryn? I already forgot it. Jesus.
Thimdurhul. I can type it. I'll type it in the thing.
Yes, I got a new notebook. So I don't have it written down yet, but I should. Oh wait, I could just scroll up. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah. That was just my bad. When you guys first asked me the name of the city, I wasn't ready. And I said Gracklestone because it was the only Durgar city that I knew because it's from Out of the Abyss. So that's my bad. But he shows you a map, sort of like of this area laid out, and it seems to be a pretty simply set city. While not being like the largest of anything you've seen, as a dwarf city built into the ground, it is very like sort of compact and efficient the way things are structured. As everything is set up on this large sort of like main road, in which the sort of market stalls and much of the trading in the area happens, and on the sides of which is where a lot of the stuff branches off, where you have things like the black iron forges, which are sort of like supplied by local water pool or by local lava pools. Supply areas and other like sort of various like nooks and crannies of the city. And as he sort of points out to you guys on the very opposite side of this main road, he says, "This is the Deep Hold. It's where the Illithid seem to have, at least according to the few Durgar, the few sensible ones that are still around, where they came from, or at least that's where the attack started. But this is not my first encounter with these creatures, and chances are the attack started much before this. At least that's where everything
I'm
is
sorry, could
being
you say the area name again?
The Deep Hold.
Oh, the deep hold. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's sort of like the
Very
castle
cool
of like
name.
the Dwarven King. Their ruler, naturally, given the situation and where this all spawned from, has not been seen by them in quite some time. But basically, it's supposed to be the most defensible part of this entire city, which is why it's been quite a massive headache to get into. And even then, leading up to this, the city was meant to be held off by any numerous or any myriad of creatures that would attempt to break in, except apparently from the inside. And we, unluckily, are not able to start from the inside like they did.
Aw.
Disappointing indeed.
We can get in. Most likely.
For your sake, I hope so.
So where is this quarter and the main gate that
So,
opens into the cavern in relation to the hold?
so the main gate which you guys originally saw seems to be slightly off, like not on the main road, but on the left side of the main road on one of those paths. And that's like the main entrance to the city. Where you guys are is like the barracks of the city, which is like on the opposite entrance of the castle. It's like the two defensible positions on both sides, in case anything were to happen in the deep hold. But apparently they did not get here in time.
Oh no. So how do you feel, Mr. Zoltar?
As you all know, I'm not necessarily quite comfortable underground, but whatever you guys feel is wise. My expertise isn't much down here.
Don't sell
Well,
yourself
we are
short.
party.
I've not been below before either. Well, before Granton at least.
Well, I'm totally down with going and get with this illithid. Though I am so tired. What if we could have like a nice long rest?
I just had an amazing thought. I just realized. As soon as you look at all the skeletons, they'd all just hit the fucking floor. Like they came back when he looked away. Whenever he looks at them, they just fucking poof.
Oh, Ethan's face.
So that means that when he showed up, there's like a large, like a rattling of bones behind you guys.
Oh no, they're like far away in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm assuming the moment he
Like-
sees them, because I'm going to bring them in there eventually,
Mm-hmm.
exactly what's going to happen.
Like even better in the hallway, like when he was looking at us and he turned away, like they just like fall down,
Darted.
and then like when he looked away, they start coming back up, and then he turns back, and then they fall back down again, sort of like a puppet with a string cut.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well, as he's sort of explaining the layout of this area to you, he's sort of as things are right now, we're building up our forces to make a sort of a full-on attack at the main gates of the city, considering it is very, very important to my supply chains, and this is hurting my metaphorical pockets quite a lot with it being taken over.
Are there any other ways other than the main gate to get into the city?
There is a gate on the opposite side of the city, direct opposite of the gate from which is next to us in a sort of symmetrical fashion. But outside of that, unless someone is familiar with the nooks and crannies and undergrounds of this area, no, there's not. It was meant to be a city to repel invaders.
Question. So like this underground city, like is the perimeter just like the cave walls, or is it like an actual like walled city, or like how is the perimeter of it?
So, you guys can actually like look out a little bit and like to the main area. And it seems to be this whole area is a tunnel system that has been carved into, not like this whole like massive. So, Granite Den was this massive area carved out of a mountain and built upon. This area seems to be almost the direct opposite, where they sort of carve and dug into the mountainside around them to build their homes and things around that. And a lot of the walls and ceilings are still their natural formations.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
So the front wall of the gate, then that was just like a cave wall, and there was like a tunnel in it,
Oh well,
basically.
the entrance was an actual walled area because it was a larger opening, and they didn't want to have it open. Like it's like a gated area to block people from coming in, and they have more so they can have more control over it. But outside of like the actual like gates of the city, those are like the only like natural like or the only unnatural walls barricading the surrounding area.
Right, but like, can you go over the wall, and is it like an open space, or is it all just like tunnels carved in rock?
Oh no, it's almost all like tunnels carved in rock. Like it's it's almost similar to like a massive mine. If
Right.
that makes sense. And that's part of the reason why they find themselves at a bit of a disadvantage, because being able to float and hover is not as useful when you can't go higher than, say, maybe 20, 30 feet. But he explains to you that this area they've carved out has been relatively safe, and they've had no incidents of them trying to attack since then. They seem to be respecting the sort of pseudo border we have set up. But it's only a matter of time until they build up enough forces or do whatever they're doing deep into there before they're ready. They're going to come at us, and that's why I intended to strike at them first. But then I got this interesting little present known as you all.
Solely Kolk, if you're having trouble evading them in the corridors of the city, you should try rolling your eyes.
What does that mean? Could you explain?
You would roll your eyes and sort of roll out of the way of harm.
Well, that is part of the issue. There's not much space to maneuver. Rolling is quite difficult. And just sort of staring straight at you, just like blank faced. But the plan is going forth is fairly simple. We will be making our way down the main tunnel and sending off groups to find various supplies that may help our invasions as we proceed forward. There is, while things like the Dark Iron Forges might not be particularly useful to us given our lack of opposable thumbs, maybe you all could find something useful in there that the dwarves left behind or that were not taken. However, there are a few obstacles in our way before we go any further. Specifically, creatures like that one over there, and he watches his tentacle points to one of the cages, where one of the Duragar is sitting there, just sort of leaned back against the cage, and you notice it seems that sort of like the bottom half of him is almost what's it called? It's like extremely like rigid and tight, and just under like the cuff of his pants, like you see what seems to be stone, as if he had been partially petrified. It's just, they have certain among their numbers that stand out above the usual intelligence of these thralls. that the mind flayers have, and they've been quite the problem. And they sort of, you watch as one of the eye beams sort of goes up in like the shelving area. He what's it called? You see him like sort of pull down this crate and just shake the hell out of it. As it's just sort of floating there like violently back and forth in the air, and you see the cap come off of the lid be pried off of it, and floating in the air above you as he's sort of holding it with his telekinetic eye. What seems to be a brain with legs. These creatures are used to control them, or for more precise controls. And reportedly, a few of the king's more competent guardsmen and mages have been taken control of by said creatures. Sadly for them, there is little to no chance of them ever returning to their previous lives, but they will be a massive... they will be quite the obstruction for our plans, considering that they will take more attention than your average thrall. Which is why we have been making the gathering of said forces, but I believe, and if you aren't to be anything particularly disappointing, we may be able to move sooner than we anticipated.
And what is your plan then?
Well, you all seem to be a very fairly varied group. It makes sense that some of you would be able to lead the charge against, while others make the way around, either collecting supplies and empowering yourselves, or the other, what's it called, sort of foot soldiers going in, or maybe making your way around to try and get a surprise off on them. Because the one thing we lack is, he says with a sort of irritated tone, is more competent members besides myself.
But is your plan to lead a charge, as you say, and go in en masse, or are you striking at them from the woods, as it were, and sabotaging them over time?
The plan currently is to catch them, or is to go en masse and catch them before they are ready to come at us. The population of the city happens to be quite large, and if we are to wait till they are all under the control of said creatures, we would not stand a chance. The hope is that most of them are still just being held in anticipation of being either transformed into said creatures, controlled by said creatures, or just eaten by said creatures.
And there's little time.
Very little. But
No.
it seems not all hope is lost.
What about the idea of having a flanked attack coming from that back gate? That's a smaller, more infiltrating force.
Well, it could be hypothetically possible. The chances of getting around to that back gate is still stalled by the problem that you would not be able to get into the hold of the deep hold itself. Where if we are to succeed, our targets will certainly be lying in wait. But
How many targets are we talking about? Maybe you have a better idea. I know there's the one called Skull Crusher. Is it just him, or they're more like him?
Skull Leader, and
And how many of these little ones?
He is Skull Leader, and he is not alone. There seems
So there's
to
a whole
be
army of them.
There seems to be two other of his kind that have been controlling these masses and getting orders, but of these sort of special ones, these sort of the more intelligent and competent of their group. There seems to be 5 in total. There were 6. And sort of gestures towards the one in the cage.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is an elephant in the cage?
Not the illithid is in the cage, but the creature, the more intelligent looking thrall. Oh yes, I forgot to explain. This is what is in its head. A creature very similar to this, which is capable of not only using any of the creature's set abilities, but also knowing its thoughts, memories, actions, able to basically mirror that person's personality and abilities. It takes the name, they call it an intellect devour, and the name is quite literal.
Then there are 5 illithid that you know of in the city.
Not illithids, no. There are 3 illithids, Skull Eater and his two allies. These are considered, you could call them the champions of said illithids. Basically, they're minor lieutenants to gather the troops and do whatever's necessary while they cannot themselves.
I see.
And these are all made, at least as far as we know, of various Duragar who came from the King's Guard itself. So expected to be a bit more competent than your average soldier that was among their ranks.
Attacking them all at once may work then. If we can overwhelm them, they'll be spread thin. And with so few of them, we just have to get around the thralls to strike at their leaders.
Indeed, that's where the trouble will come. That's why we intend to gather en masse to take down the gates of the Deep Hold and then begin flooding into it to exterminate anything that gets in our way.
How many are your number?
As of right now, I have 2 Goth under my wing. I had a 3rd, but recently, due to an unexpected accident, he's passed on. However, when it comes
Inside check.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at Josh when he says that.
oh, he floated away. He was like, I'm out of here, it's lunchtime.
Oh, right, he did do that.
What were the ones that I killed?
Those were spectators, like the foot soldiers.
Okay.
It's like of spectators as they're called, and of oh fuck, I can't even remember their names. Gazers.
It's okay, Taryn. Spectator lives don't really matter.
But, of the smaller kin, we have what's it called? Up above us, maybe roughly 100 or so, and within the next day or two, we'll have another 80 to go with them, and then we'll be able to sort of begin set assault on the city.
So as soon as that wave of 80 is ready, then you're going to... So about 3 days?
Give or take, maybe a little bit less if I can work some... I might be able to get things done sooner, depending on how things go.
So...
Just under 200.
Then...
Yes, which is dwarfed by the population of this city. But it should be enough.
Then we have about 2 days to strike at the city and see if we can't come across any of their leadership and take them out before the battle. No?
You could attempt to, yes. However, it would be, how do you say? You would have to be considerably lucky to catch them totally unawares.
Yes, there's so many eyes as it is.
So we pride ourselves on. But there, that is the plan as going forward. Now, is this the part of the being part of the Bronze Flame where you beg for money in order to do said services, or how is it that you usually run things? I try not to associate myself with the adventuring folk or the mercenaries.
We're gonna have a quick huddle. Is there something we want from them?
I mean, we were gonna help out anyways.
Yeah.
It's more of a personal mission rather than a financial one.
Alright, good.
We
We're in
weren't,
agreement.
yeah,
Speaking
like we weren't sent here contractually or anything. We're not really here as the Bronze Flame.
Speaking of personal missions, though, we need to find any information he can give us about the blight on the Frosted Edge,
Mm-hmm.
though he seems to have none.
Maybe that's what we should ask for. Information.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, if he doesn't know anything, he says that he has business stretching southward through Revedia, so, and we came from the south, so he might know somebody who knows something. Point us somewhere closer.
That's true.
Speaking of, well, business friends, a creature as fearsome as Zoldykolk would have a certain deterrent to his presence. That might even be such a great deterrent that he could go up and float up and ask the Great White what he's seen from his bird's eye view over the forest.
I don't know how well that request will go over, but couldn't hurt to ask, I guess. Even with the type of presence that he has, white dragons are still dangerous.
There's smidge.
But we could ask, and, you know, worst he can say is no.
Seems very sure of himself.
Definitely something to play off of.
Is that what we would want, or what else
Yeah.
could be gained here?
To be honest, I really don't want to know what kind of business he's conducting. I don't know that I want to know. I think information, we're here to try and help Zelthar's homeland and family.
I'm sure there would be spoils aplenty in the city itself.
Probably, although the citizens are still there, so shouldn't deprive them of too much, I guess.
Kalis doesn't seem particularly committal to that. Good huddle.
What do you
Who
think,
wants to talk to
Zelthar?
him?
I think another thing we have to consider is how other people would view a beholder assisting us in fighting a dragon as well. They might not be very keen on that idea.
I don't know that we would have to fight the Great White. Or even really be present. I was just saying we could name our price as him asking the Great White what he has seen of the blight.
Oh, right.
If
But
that would even help.
That's a good point.
So again, who's going to do all the talking? I vote Zelthar.
That's all right. So, Zoldykolk, Zelthar has a question for you.
And you see him sort of slowly turn towards you. Which one is
Yeah.
Zeltha? Is it you? I assume it's you with the other antlers.
Yes, that would be me.
What is your price?
I apologize for not being the most socially tactful out of us, but my one thing, as ridiculous as this request may sound, is there is a blight that's been going on in my homeland, and my request after doing these missions is could you consult with a great white dragon that lives above us and ask what it may know about the blight?
And you see his eye and 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 his eye visibly widen. That is an absurd request. You want me to go talk to a dragon?
Yes, that is what I said.
He sort of turns around and you see like what's the problem with these generations? They get off thinking they can just ask me to talk to dragon. Son,
Unless you're more chicken than wyvern.
no, I'm going to be more food than beholder. I'm going to explain to you the ecosystem. There is man. There is many other things. There is beholder. There is dragon. Not many things eat beholders. Dragons eat beholders. Here's what I can offer you. I have eyes all over these lands, pun intended and not. If it's any particular piece of information, I can find someone who has that information, or I can find someone who can find someone, or I have a myriad of ways to find out damn near anything I'd like to know about going on in these lands. And I suppose it wouldn't cause any harm for me to take interest in whatever blight you said is ailing your forest or these people. And I can even send Josh to go talk to said dragon. I'm not doing so myself. I simply have no death wish. And the value of returning this city to its fully operational state is not worth more than my life.
That's fair. But your suggestion of information, I think, should be adequate, right?
I believe so.
Perfect. Then we'd have a deal. I'd shake your hand, but I'm quite lacking on said things. So, here. And you see him, you hear this sort of sound as a sort of stone hand floats over to you all.
Just start asking around about the center of the blight.
I'll shake his hand.
I want to shake the hand too.
Alright, you can do it, Shogun.
Yeah, dude, come on.
I'll have
Like
them
you're
on
gonna go to
it.
shake it, but then I'm gonna grab both your hand and the stone hand together. You'll do like a 3-hand shake.
That's okay.
That's getting weird.
After everyone's done, I want to try and shake the hand and just try and like grip onto it and just like not let go of it and see if I could like arm wrestle him a little bit.
He doesn't seem to be particularly keen about holding on to this hand. Like, if you want, he's just going to be like, oh, this is weird. And he's going to give it to you. And
man, we made Beholder uncomfortable. Awesome.
and with that, we are going to go on a quick break. Thank you everyone for watching. Feel free to stick around. We'll be back in just a few minutes. 1 live. Hello, everybody. We're back. I said we'd be gone for a minute or two. I lied. But we're here now. So, as we had just left our party, as they had concluded the negotiations with Zoldikok for their assistance in the siege of the city, the party now has a bit of time to themselves to decide what they want to do in the meantime, while the final preparations are beginning for this siege. A few people seem to want to go to sleep immediately, for reasons that have nothing to do with them skeletons attacking them if they don't go to sleep eventually. It's been... Oh yeah, because you guys didn't sleep. You pushed on further past, you didn't stay in Bliggenstone. So it's been quite a bit at this point. It's probably been like, maybe like getting to like the 15, 16 hour mark. I don't know. Oh yeah, you did do drugs. Yes, you did do drugs. Lots happened. We forgot about that. Oh god, I did that. Yeah, there's a reason I didn't... Did I send that list to anybody else? I hope not. Nope, and no one knows but you. You think we ain't got alchemical drug? Excuse me? We will have you zoinked, zooted, and zapped instantly. I just... Okay.
That's not the harassment.
Alrighty, so starting things off, is there anyone who wants to sort of initiate any plans first, either by themselves or with the group? Also, Sparks is not going to be happy when we tell him that we made plans to ally with the Beholder.
Whoop.
That's
Yeah.
also, you forgot Rallolin in the caves.
Wait, did we forget him, or did we strategically leave him behind as a rear guard?
He's still guarding the rear.
Well, we can get him now.
I know that DM excuse. DM for I forgot you guys were traveling with an NPC.
No. He's like, I mean, hell, he killed one person. Hopefully, that has not too much more past that area.
Where, since we'll be here a few days at least before we move out, where should we make our camp?
Sort of gestures on the outside towards the. There seems to be a section of like the barracks that's sort of still intact, and it's like, there's nothing in there. Do what you want. It's just beds for all of you. And you see him at this point. He's sort of now that his business with you all seems to be done. He seemed. Oh no, he can't crack his neck or his knuckles. That'd be really weird, huh?
All the eye socks just go.
Or don't.
I mean, they have no bones, so how could they?
I mean, they have bones, yeah. They just only have a skull.
Well, yeah, but
They have bone.
it's not, they don't have joints. They need joints.
Jaw hinges. Can
Yeah,
crack his jaw.
Yeah, you hear like a loud, like popping sound as he begins to make this sort of uncanny
True.
smile, and makes his way over to one of the cages. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to see if I can extract a bit more information.
See ya.
Thought we
Like-
should get your
That was
brother.
really nice.
Excuse me, I'll be going now. And he floats.
Yeah, I
You
think
just
I'll
like
take
look at
your
us and
turn.
maintain eye contact and just like float backwards if you wanted.
You could, I guess, yeah. You're certainly not wrong. So you
Okay.
two are some. So was someone going to retrieve Rollin? Is that what they said, or you're just mentioning it?
I mean, we.
Yeah.
I can do it,
I'm gonna do it.
but while I'm doing the most of collecting bones.
Oh
So
no,
note,
Gary, Suzanne.
note that the process of collecting bones is flaying corpses.
Oh yeah, I'm collecting corpses, and then I'm gonna start flaying them a bit later.
Okay.
And then
I'm
once
gonna
I get
go-
him, well,
We'll say you're in your dark corner doing your thing and just out of sight and from everyone else.
Just say I'm gonna go with Zelthar at that point.
That's how she's dragging like a one dwarf in each arm, dragging them towards an alleyway.
well, I'm not dragging them. I'm having my skeletons do it.
Oh, that's even worse.
Skeletons
That
dragging
is-
skeletons.
That is
That is-
actually worse.
That's just White Walkers right there. You know, the multiplicity of it.
Just more, chanting in the background. But as you guys make your way through the caverns, unimpeded by having to be like stealthy or anything like that, what's it called? As you guys come around the bend back towards the entrance of the cavern, there's this sort of emptiness as you don't see Rowlin anywhere. And almost having like merged with like the stonework, he sort of steps forward, is like, "That's not where you came from. What's going on?"
So much.
Too much.
Are they dead? Where are the rest of you all?
We kind of made a deal with the beholder.
Oh, what's that?
Here, let's just go to a camp and we'll talk about this later.
What, Zeltha? Well, you're speaking in tongues. What? Why can't we talk about it now? What's going on?
It's
What's
a
a
lot.
beholder? Behold what?
No.
Who is
Do you
her?
know I think it'd be best if you came with me. It's all for yourself.
Don't worry.
I'm worrying. I'm worrying a lot now. Zelthar, just show me what it is. What's going on?
It's an unlikely ally. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry when you see.
I've come across quite a few of those in the last few days. I think another one won't be too bad. And he's following your lead. What are you doing? Like, are you taking him to Zolikok, or are you just taking him to the barracks?
I'm just taking him to the barracks.
Okay. It's like, okay, well, I don't see what the beholder nonsense is. Where are those skeletons?
Think too hard about it.
Okay. So, you guys make your way to the barracks, and he sort of has a seat, or and get some sort of explanation? I'm quite confused. Kruga is just over there. He's in the corner. He found seems to be a small keg of ale that had been stashed away. He's sort of having a good time. Good luck, and he goes up the stairs.
So a beholder is a creature.
Creature.
It's basically an eye with a mouth and a lot other eyes that do really terrible things to you. They're not fun at all.
It sounds
We-
terribly.
A very unlikely ally because the Duragar city down here has been besieged by some mind flayers.
Know what those are? Okay.
Yep. So it does what it says in the tin, pretty much. And they don't want the mind flayers there, so they've been trying to eradicate them because they do business with the Duragar, and the mind flayers are not good for business. So the enemy of our enemy is currently our friend.
And at this point, as you guys are talking, you hear this sort of light knocking on the door. And you see it sort of peer open, or like, sort of like, not peer open, but like swing open just a little bit, and one little eye stalk sort of like, hey guys, it's Josh. And he goes, and you see Rowland sort of stand up from the table, getting back. What the?
That would be a beholder kitten.
And you see the door. Can I come in? Oh my god! Are you guys having a moment? I don't wanna interrupt. And you see Rowland just sort of. It's sort of almost this like pale faced like mix of like confusion, anger, and disappointment.
Wait, can Josh speak common, or is he just speaking in deep?
He's just speaking in deep.
Oh my god, we don't know what he's
Oh, no.
saying then.
I'm assuming I'm not nearby.
You're in a corner, man.
And so it just goes, And so the door swings open, and there's just, he's speaking fucking gobbledygook. Like, it's, and after a few moments of Roland just, what is he, looking back and forth at you two, and are you guys trying to pretend you understand, or are you just as confused?
He doesn't speak common, but Jagun can communicate with him. The other one can speak common. So
The other one,
yeah, there's a lot more. Like,
and at this, Josh hasn't stopped talking. He's sort of just looking at you, and at this point, he looks like you see his eyes shifting around. It looks kind of awkward, and he's like, and he just waves one tentacle and just closes the door and just floats away.
oh, buddy.
Rowland sort of looks at you, Zelthar, and looks at you, Taryn. It's been a long day. I'm going to go sleep. And, oh, I can't even do that.
She's a elf.
I'm going
Gotta
to
go
meditate.
meditate.
I'm going to go meditate for a few hours. No, we won't talk about this later. It's just happening. It's okay. It's okay. And he makes his way up to the sort of second story of this barracks, and you hear this sort of like hearty laugh as he comes up. And there's immediately like a quickly just, oh, never mind. And then just silence as Rowland takes a moment to himself.
I guess the adventuring life kind of makes you desensitized to a lot of strange stuff.
I'm gonna take my ringmail off and set it at the camp with Chugun.
The camp with Jugun is the one where bodies are being flayed.
Right.
Okay, just making sure.
Could you look over our things if we're
Yeah.
out?
Of course, I can do that.
Thanks.
No problem, Kalis.
Just gonna like cover the eyes of the animals and start walking the other way.
And you hear like this sort of like almost like the sound of like what's it called? Like the sound as one of the bones sort of fucking pulled from the socket as Jung-un is prepping a new batch of skeletons. And you try to immediately erase the memory as best you can.
How many skeletons am I playing?
I mean, I'd say there's probably about 30 corpses in total, about 2.5 dozen.
Oh shit. I can't put all that in my bag. I guess I'm still gonna keep going.
We'll have ammunition for the battle.
Alrighty, so yeah, and you're popping sockets and you're going for it, Jagan. Okay, let's you rejoin you watch as sort of Josh sort of fucking floats past you as you're making your way back to the main gated area, looking like not directly at you, sort of gaze averted, just making his way back to the tunnels. And you open the door to see Terran and Zelthar, sort of just sitting at the table there, looking maybe a little bewildered.
Kalis has more eyes on him at any one point than like 3 beholders, for the record.
Wait, say it again. Yeah, I just got it. Yeah.
It's like, hello, hello, hello. It's like the Dark Woods thing when all the red eyes appear in the background. It's like,
But it's just like on his chest.
Can you imagine how terrifying it would be if like you saw like red eyes in the forest, but they were like in the shape of a creature, like a figure?
yeah. Yeah.
Tales of Revedia,
Any-
horror edition.
anyway, Terran,
Hmm.
Zelthar, are we making into the city?
Did you want to go now? Before we rest?
Are we all going? I'm not sure what you had planned.
Know that we all need to go. For your people is less chance of being spotted. I can move pretty under under the radar, but we don't have radars here. I can move pretty out of sight.
Move under the clairvoyance.
Under the clairvoyance, yes. Under the scry.
It'd probably be like searchlights, like, ancient searchlights.
Searchlights, like hooded lanterns or a thing. Searchlights would be a thing.
I was hoping Zelthar could accompany me with his bolstering skills.
I wouldn't mind.
You're welcome to come too if you want, but
I'm at
Light
your
of-
disposal when the time is right. So is Bryn. So is Tim.
Tim.
So is it continues.
My name is Tim.
So, are you making your way into the city pre or post long rest?
How are you guys feeling?
I probably did like 10 skeletons and went to sleep. Or
You're not
like,
stealthy
like-
anyways.
yeah, I'm not coming. Oh, if I wear my armor, I'm a little bit more stealthier, but I'm not.
Sure. Well, we need someone to hold the fort.
Yeah, put them down.
I'm fine. Zelthar, can you cast the apt spell of yours?
I can use it 2 more times. That's yes.
Well, I don't want to stay out too much, and we have a little bit of time yet. What say the two of you and I go on just a quick scouting mission, just to kind of maybe get an idea of where to look more in depth in the next coming days.
Right, and also we'll have to get a feel for how to move about these tunnels because they seem as if there's single file holes in the rock. I don't know how successful we'll be hiding amongst them.
Well, I'm sure we'll make do. We didn't too badly coming in to this previous area.
I suppose that's true.
Agreed.
Okie dokie then. with that, as you guys set off, you know what it's time for. Hit me with them stealth checks. As Zelthar, I presume you are casting Pass Without a Trace.
Yes, I am.
$38. Okay.
There we go.
29. Pretty, it's decent, I guess.
I'll take point.
Okay. And Kalos, were you going with him or are you staying?
Coming with.
Oh, he's coming. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't see your
So
stealth.
I
I'm
got a
sorry.
25,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just blind. My
calculating
bad.
the everything.
So, like a whisper, you guys managed to right on out. And as you guys sort of make your way out of the barracks, it doesn't seem to be nearly as cramped as you were assuming it was. The main tunnel itself seems to be. Let me check my map real quick, which I can open. At maybe some of its widest points, about maybe about 25 to 30 feet across, meant for sort of this heavy foot traffic of people who come through the area. But the sort of side tunnels in which you were told about, those are quite a bit more narrow, but still, as I said, well enough to travel through at about like 15 feet. So they have several paths you could make your way down. A lot of these areas sort of lined with these sort of doors and air like windows sort of carved into the walls of the living quarters and various storefronts of the area. But you guys basically can try and make your way down the main road, which is also the most conspicuous, clearly. And then there's the leftmost and the rightmost paths. From the rightmost path as you guys are making your way, you would feel like even from where you are, coming from the first sort of fork that you guys can see, what seems to be this very like a bright, like not this very bright light, but this sort of not like sort of lantern light, like emanating from the mouth of that tunnel, as well as this intense heat.
Mm.
That's the right fork of the tunnel.
The right fork, yes.
And just one, where are we entering the city from?
You would be in the very bottom area where like the sort of like the barracks and garrison were. So if you so on the map that I showed you, it's like the very bottom side. I don't know if you actually got a chance to see it, but
So we're coming from the Mind Flayer's war room, basically, or the not Elvis, the Beholder's war room
yes.
entrance.
Just have to sneak by him. Does he notice?
The
Just
Beholder?
curious. Yeah.
He is what's it called? He himself, he like the war room for the Beholder is not like right in front of like the exit, so like he wouldn't, you guys would be able to walk out without being seen.
No. Okay. I mean, not that I was,
Yeah,
trying to hide from
wouldn't
him, but I was
you
just
wouldn't have been
curious.
seen anyway with a fucking 30.
38? Yeah, 38.
At this point, I just called it good enough.
Good to know I can hide from a beholder with a 38, though.
So, damn, his passive perception is high too. That makes sense, actually. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Lots of eyes.
Which way? What'd you
Is
say?
there anything, like, we can feel heat and some light coming from the rightmost path? Is there anything coming from the left?
So, on the map that like he actually showed you guys, you did see a few things, what's it called? A few landmarks. On the right, one of the prominent things there is there's the Black Iron Forge, which is it is one of the two major forges of the city. The other one being on sort of like the opposite end along the leftmost pass, further down by the entrance, or by the Mind Flayer's like little or by the deep hold. There we go. To the leftmost pass, closest to you would be the main gate area, in which you guys originally saw the city through. And further down upon that, there is more things like storage areas, a few storefronts, as well as supply areas, and this sort of like a fungal farming area for like these building and sometimes for the sake of nourishment.
The main gate is down the leftmost path.
Yes, at least the main gate which you guys would have came through. There is another gate on the right, but it's on the opposite end, near the deep hold.
So does the main road not go to the main gate?
No, the main road, it's like sort of offshoot from it. The main road is basically like this large line that connects the garrison and the deep hold.
Right. So it's like a military road then.
Yeah.
Let's go left. Cautiously.
I see you just smiling over there in the corner.
So, as you guys find yourselves making your way over to the leftmost pass, it's actually pretty quickly as you guys are making your way about. You sort of stop for a moment as you hear the sound of footsteps approaching from the gate. As the sound of the heavy stone doors are sort of pushed open by the what sounds like the various like clicking and locking of some mechanical forces controlling it. And sort of passing by, not noticing you, but you see a group of thralls, of these sort of controlled dwarves, making their way past you to the further down the leftmost road, not towards your guys' area, and onwards towards Deep Hold. And as you guys sort of give them a moment to pass and look upon this gated area, you see it seems to be very loosely manned. The creatures who are here don't seem to be standing out too particularly much, but it seems to be about maybe four to five thralls are just sort of standing there watching over the area. You can see them even from your position with passive perceptions, and they're just sort of standing there like blank faced, almost like a bit of drool coming out the side of their mouth, just observing and manning the gate.
We sit there and wait for the, patrol to pass.
I couldn't hear you, Karen, by the way.
Kale just sort of sits back against the wall, and like a couple of squirrels just like scurry up and like climb onto his face and like cover it with like as if it's like just like a fur draped over him or something. And they
I said, should we
And it
take
works.
them out?
Could we do it easily?
Where are they positioned on the gate? Or
So,
around the gate?
So you see two of them are up upon the actual, like, the wall itself, looking down at the entrance area. And two are stationed at the bottom right next to the gate. And one is sort of just wandering back and forth, sort of like half keeping an eye on things. Doesn't seem to be doing so with any, like, almost in like a robotic like path, just running straight and forth along this line going along the gate.
The ones that are down lower, are they in like clear line of sight from the ones up higher?
No, not really. Because the ones up on the gate are just facing forward towards the outside. These two are on the inside of the gate.
Oh, okay.
And it seems they're standing next to some, what's it called? To some chains that operate the gate itself, actually.
Is it a portcullis?
It seems to be not necessarily like a portcullis, but it does seem to be like a part of like the mechanisms that go into opening this gate, as it's rather large and heavy doors aren't exactly movable by hand.
I pity them, to be honest. There were moments when I was not myself, when I was traveling with you all.
Well, yes,
Yep.
but your mind wasn't consumed. Literally.
Are all the thralls completely gone then?
Isn't that what Godalok said? He can't hear me.
Did he say they got their brains ate?
I think he said that like the ones that were already like enthralled don't have no chance of going back to their regular lives.
Yeah. So basically, once you are sort of taken over, it takes very high level magic in order to bring back. Hey, excuse you, I'm working here. It takes very high level
Like
magic
wizards.
to bring back. I believe it's like oh shit, like you need like a wish spell, like 9th level greater restoration. I might be wrong on that, cause like they gotta put your brain back in. Yeah, it's actually no, it's just a wish spell.
Mm.
If it yeah, because your brain gets eaten. It it's not a great process. But even
So
for the sake of
they
thralls,
did get their brains completely eaten.
So the short answer, yes. However, some people got their brains eaten and inhabited. Those are the more intelligent ones.
That you'd be dead if you didn't have a brain, though.
There's like
Yeah,
a chomp out of it.
it's an alien thing, bro. They're tentacle beasts with psionic powers. Like I don't know what to
Brain
tell you,
full.
man.
Cookie bite mark out of it.
Got milk?
God.
Got brains.
All right, I don't understand it. I'll defer to your judgment.
Can you over to Zelthar, Mike? Can you reach those two up there quickly? Are they within range?
How far are those two standing apart from each other? That's on top of the gate.
They're probably standing, probably about maybe like 25, 30 feet from each other.
Okay.
Is there
I bet
perspectives like covering the tunnel that we enter the room from?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Are there fields of vision covering the entrance from our tunnel into that room?
No, their fields of vision are covering like the actual like the main tunnel, like the outwards path. So like the entrance to the gate, like for those like incoming, not where you guys are. Actually, none of them are looking specifically like in your direction at the moment, except for the sort of wandering like patrolling type figure, who
I can take
occasionally would gaze over your area.
I can take that one. Easy.
it's also kind of risky if we're doing this without our entire party as well.
I mean, there's
Because
6 of them.
I'm just thinking if one of them could go back and like tell authorities, then our plan would be ruined a little bit.
True, but if we
There was 6 of them?
there's 2 and then 2 and sorry, 5. I can't math. 5. Well, but if we do take them all out, then it's 5 less.
Maybe it's not a question of taking them all out at once, but a question of taking them each out stealthily, individually.
Kind of what I was thinking too. I can take the one wandering down here. I can sneak up on him, and do away with him, and I know that you can fire your bow pretty fast. So that was my
I
thought.
can
And
take
then
the. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just thinking that, and then we can figure out what to do with the 2 behind the gate there.
Are there any like up on raised watchtowers or on the wall, or are they all just on the ground?
So, 2 up top along the actual wall itself. They don't have exact line of sight of the guys below them, but they're watching the area outwards. Below, at the actual gate itself, on the floor level, is the other 2 guards, and they're sort of watching over the area, and they are there to man the systems in case the gate needs to be open. The last one is a guard sort of wandering around on this sort of linear back and forth path, just scanning the area in general.
Are the two on the tower, the wall? Do they see each other? Are they looking at each other?
No, they're not looking at each other. They're looking outwards.
Okay.
The ones in the gate are looking back out toward this way, or they're looking toward the.
I mean, like the entrance is like in their peripheral, but it doesn't seem like these don't seem like fully conscious creatures. It doesn't seem like awareness is like their specialty.
About.
Okay.
Because if we get on top of that wall, then we'll be able to have a good line of sight. Is there? How tall is the wall?
The wall itself, at its peak, or like at its highest point, it's about 25 feet up. There aren't any like actual like watchtowers, but what it does seem, from your guys' position, you can see that the actual like there's an actual section of the wall that's carved to the set of stairs on like the top section, and it sort of goes into this area where there's this cutout terrace that watches below.
The exterior of the wall, is it smooth or rough?
It's like smooth cut stone. Or are you talking about the wall itself, the wall, or the cave wall?
The wall itself.
It's
That
smooth
they're
cut
standing
stone.
up.
It's like
Okay.
yeah,
So not good handholds.
yeah. It seems to be.
Is there
it
like a
seems-
ladder or anything? To
Uh,
There's a
there's
stairwell.
Yeah, there's stairs going up. on
stairs,
those sides.
right?
It seems to be actually like rather pretty fairly well maintained by the door to the city, or at least before said events had happened.
Is it just one set of stairs or one on either side?
On both sides.
Kalis will brandish his rope and grappling hook. Have you used this, Darren?
A couple of times, once or twice. I'd like to take these guards out if we can. I think that we can. I don't know if shooting the two up top, I don't want them to fall and alert anybody. I think the best course of action, because we might be able to sneak up the stairs and ambush them from either side after taking out the one down here.
That could, if we could sneak up the stairs, I could take one, and you could make short work of the other. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
The two guards at the sort of like mechanism of the gate, I imagine it's sort of like a portcullis. Can they see out of the? Are they looking out of the gate?
Like towards you guys, or towards like the gate itself is closed. If that's what you're asking. Like, they're
Yeah.
not
Are they
looking
looking out of the? Like, is the closed gate like a portcullis, or is it like a solid,
out. It's like a
opaque?
solid gate. You can't see through it.
Oh,
Oh,
Perfect.
Yeah.
okay.
so then we don't know about those other two guards, or are they on the outside?
No. My point is those guards are on the inside because you guys are looking at the wall from the inside because you're inside the city.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, that makes
Yeah.
more sense. I gotcha.
You
gotcha.
guys are in the city right now. So that's why you can see the guards on the inside as well as the people up on the walls. And that's why the people on the walls were looking towards the outside. Because they
Gotcha.
were looking towards anything oncoming, not
So
just coming from behind them.
The ones with the mechanism, where are they looking?
They're more just watching each other standing like sentry. They don't seem to be particularly like on the lookout for anything like the other ones are set up to.
Oh yeah. How far, like, from our position to the gate, to the wall, rather?
From where you are to the wall is Let me just. It's about what's it called? 60 feet to the actual wall itself from the mouth of like this little cave where you guys are sort of hiding out at.
Perfect. So I'll get like 5 feet out of the tunnel and pop a magic awareness and see if there's anything that draws our note.
So, how do they change magical awareness? Because I know it's not just detect magic anymore, right?
It says it's an action until the end of your next turn, so just like 6 seconds. You know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover. Okay. And you learn which school of magic. It's basically detect magic. It's just like a little different.
Okay, I see. There seems to be no magical items in this area.
Except for the ones that we have.
Yeah, except those ones. You guys are fucking glowing.
Yeah, bling like ah!
What the hell?
And are there any spells
Just like
or magic?
crying as I'm trying to look.
Within, and there are no, and you see no signs of magic items nor spells, like in that area.
Good. Well, there's no magic here, at least.
How about this? Kalis, can you get the Wandering Fellow? And then Zelthar, you get one of the guards standing by the mechanism while I sneak up on the other, and we can kill them as close to the same time as we can so they can't alert anybody. And then, Kalis, you and I will go up the stairs and get the remaining two.
That sounds
I'm going
perfect.
to. I'm going to sneak up and grab the wandering one. I'll cover his mouth, so if I can't make short work of him, turn him into a pincushion for me, please.
Take that as a yes.
And please don't miss.
I'm gonna stealth scoot my way up to, I guess, the right
Okay.
most mechanism guard, and I kind of signaled Zelthar to go to the left.
Okay.
Which is probably reversed on the stream, but whatever, it's fine.
Honestly, I gave up on doing this whole left-right shit on stream anyway. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. On a good day, I'll say stage left, but that's it. So as you two begin to move forward, you eventually moving out of the range as Zelthar's past the trace, but it doesn't even fucking matter.
Oh, do we have to roll stealth again, or do we use the same rolls?
You guys haven't done anything to break stealth. You just
Okay.
been sort of muttering to each other.
I just dropped to a 28.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, I'm only a 15. But who knows?
Yeah, it still seems to be good enough, as these aren't exactly perceptive creatures.
You might still be in range of Zelthar, because he's wandering around in the bottom. So, I'm fine though. Don't worry about me.
Kalis, you creeping up first as you see this one sort of turn its back towards you and begin moving along its path again. What are you doing? Are you attempting to grapple it, or were you going to just try and whack them real quick while they're on the sides of the other two?
I'm gonna grab him and try and like get my arm around his mouth to like shut him up, basically.
Okay, so that would be an athletics check, a grapple check with advantage because he's fucking surprised.
It's a 26.
He can't beat that. He can't beat that. I'm not even gonna roll. So quickly, as you move behind it, sort of quickly grabbing hold of this creature, and you can feel the weight of this Duragar. You know dwarves are known to be hardy people, but holy shit, is this guy dense. As you manage to get sort of arm wrapped around his mouth and begin sort of pulling him towards the shadows. And
I'm gonna like flip him around to Zelthar and sort of like pull back on his head a little bit to sort of expose his neck.
Okay.
I'll like take a knife and like jab it into his neck.
Oh, shit, bro. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. This is clearly at advantage. Yeah, no, you get your attack rolls at an advantage.
Okay.
It's a very reliable hunting knife. It's very reliable. So yeah, this man caught totally unawares, and not despite the sturdiness of the Durgard, it does not seem to be a trait passed on. Quickly silencing him as Kayla slowly lowers the body to the floor. As you guys continue
Get
on.
Bryn Hill just like like chewing on his ear.
So, as you begin to creep up, I need you two to give me to re-stealth for me.
Up the stairs.
Hey, that's better.
Were you doing the ones at the gate first? Or going up the stairs?
Gate first.
Okay.
That was you and Zelthar?
Yeah. I mean, you can make your way to the gate, I guess, if you want. So.
So what's that? 33 for Zelthar.
I'll just re-stealth just in general.
And 30 for Kalis. As you guys, almost unnoticed by Taryn herself, as she's sort of waiting there in position for you all, and then she just sort of realizes that you're standing upon the other side of the Scarred, and I assume you guys signal each other. And go ahead, both of you and Zelthar, give me your attack rolls. As you guys take out your respective guards. So that's a crit for Taryn.
Mm-hmm. And 5. Sure. Shit. 5. Yeah. D6.
That's a terrible sneak attack. Holy shit.
Really is. Jesus.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he's fucking dead no matter what. But, like, 3 2s and 2 1s. Wow.
Better get out of the way now, I guess. Shit.
But as you both sort of creep
Your
up behind your
Roll20
respective
curse
targets,
is just like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
all there is not even a noise comes from either figure, just this sort of almost soft gasps. As you see is standing opposite each other, you see both of each other's targets' eyes widen for a second, and their bodies like fall limp against you as you slowly lower them to the ground.
There's. I guess re-stealth. We need to re-stealth again.
Yeah, you and Zelthar, yes. I don't know why I asked you to roll.
Oh, wow. 26.
Low roll in here.
I am. Jesus.
Quickly, and then you make your way up one side of the stairs. Kalis is you're positioned on the opposite side. As you see these last two Duragar sort of just standing there, staring out towards the darkness of these caves.
Is there like a... So like the one Durgar is obviously near to the stairs on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Is there like any sort of crates or anything up against the wall on the far side of the stairs?
Not
Like-
actually on the bottom of the stairs. There's a few. It seems to be sort of supply crates and various like things that have maybe fallen apart. It seems whatever was in them was emptied out quite some time ago.
Right. Okay.
And is
What
it
time?
I'm going up the stairs.
As you both very stealthily creep your way up. Feel free to, if you're going for your attacks, feel free to roll them. No time like the present. I assume you're also just going to bludgeon the fucker, Kalis? Or are you going for the same thing?
I'm going
Zelthar?
to tackle him off of the wall and like try and hold him down so we land on him.
Give me your athletics check, I guess. God damn.
Much-
Oh, Terran just fucking as you quickly sneak up behind it, putting the knife to its throat, just digging in deep is like almost like the blade cutting like through like butter. You look to your left and you see as Kalis goes off the side of the wall with one of them, and a few just maybe a half second goes by and you hear this sort of sound, and
One way to
this
do it.
bludgeoned and sort of like fucked up Duragar just lying underneath his massive frame.
That's one
Well,
way to do it.
throw the grappling hook back up and climb back up the wall from the other side.
As you make your way back up the wall to rejoin your party after sort of clearing out this gatehouse, that is where we're going to pause for this week. As you guys explore, before you guys get to explore this area and see what's in here. And because it's been a while, and you know, in preparation for this upcoming venture, you all also level up.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Nice.
I love that the most violent kills we've ever done in this campaign are like what give us that last little bit of EXP.
They are. They were definitely the most violent we've done.
That was fucking. I didn't expect Zelthar to come here and just fucking.
That was
Terran-
awesome.
Taryn definitely appreciated that.
Yeah. So
10 points for style.
Yeah.
yeah, many style points were gained today, and hopefully we'll be getting a few more next Thursday. So please join us then as the party continues on to their sort of scouting of the city as well as the eventual siege. Thank you all, and have a good night.
Should we mention we're going on Thursday instead of Friday?
Did I just say? I thought I said Thursday just now. Did I?
I just
not?
want to make sure that they know we won't, we
yeah.
won't be doing Friday.
Yeah, we ain't gonna be here on Friday. Show up on Thursday or watch shit on YouTube. Yeah. Good luck.